Hey everybody, it's Crooked Kipe on Baseball, and today we're going to talk about the We Are Family 1979 Pirates. What a team that was. We'll do that when we come back.
Giants are in Pittsburgh. It's the Crooked Kipe Show. And Mike, I go back to 1979 when you were with the Chicago Cubs, and the Pirates were quite a big deal. And that was the year the Pirates won the World Series. They were down in the World Series 3-1, and they came back and beat the Baltimore Orioles. So I guess what I want to ask you is, that lineup, that was a pretty good lineup. I mean they had Parker, they had Stargell. I mean, look, they had the best player on the team was Steve Nicosia, their backup catcher, who we became friends with. But I'm wondering, what was your impression of that group, and were they a bunch of free-spirited guys, or were they different? Or clearly they were a close group, because you don't win the World Series if you're not a close group.
They were really unique, and it was a unique experience for me because when they clinched it in 1979 and they clinched the right to go to the playoffs, they did it against us in Pittsburgh. So we got to see the We Are Family celebration firsthand. Their nickname was Lumber and Lightning because not only could they bang with the bats, but they could run. And Chuck Tanner was the skipper for that team. And the one rule that he had was that there was no rules. And they were a bunch of free spirits. But, the thing about that team, they had a really strong leadership. Willie Stargell was amazing. Bill Robinson, they had Bert Blyleven on that club. Jim Bibby, another strong presence in the clubhouse. Those veterans policed that clubhouse. And as wild and as free-loving and free-spirited as they were, they had discipline when it came to the game of baseball. They played it right. And they never, ever beat themselves. And it was a tough lineup. When you went in there, you realized you couldn't make mistakes against it. And if you did well, it meant a little bit more. I thought it was tougher to pitch to that lineup than it was the Big Red Machine in Cincinnati.
But didn't you look at that team and say, all right, look, that lineup is awesome? I know they had Blyleven, I know they had Bibby, but weren't they a little short in the pitching department?
Oh, my gosh. No, they weren't. They had John Candelaria, who won 20 games that year, and he might have been the nastiest guy. They had some young kid who was 19 years old out of West Virginia by the name of Don Robinson, who was a complete wild card. And then in their bullpen, they had Kent Colby, the earthworm, who was he was a submarine specialist and a closer. Grant Jackson was on that team. They didn't have any dead weight. They were really good from the first out to the last out. And I thought the thing that was always understated about this club that never really got enough appreciation was their defense. They didn't make mistakes with the gloves. They were tough.
Yeah. Old scrap iron Phil Garner was an old friend. I played with scrap iron in Winter Bowl. But I looked at the numbers. They considered him the second best hitter on that team, believe it or not, that year in '79.
Him and Tim Foley were the shortstop, second baseman, Garner at second base. And, as tough as that team was, you hated to face those two guys in a situational at-bat where they needed to get a runner over or to get a guy in from third or to just put the ball in play and avoid a strikeout. They were tough. Omar Moreno was, he was in center field. He caught everything from line to line. They were just good. Stargell at first, Madlock at third. They had Ed Ott and Nicosia were the catchers. Bill Robinson and John Milner were in left field, and Dave Parker, who was the best player of all of them, was in right field.
Yeah.
That's a good team.
And a lot like what happened with the Giants when they went to postseason, the 3 years they won, nobody gave the Pirates a chance in that series against the Baltimore Orioles. But there you go. They won 3 in a row, and that was it.
We tip our cap to the team of 1979, the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Crooked Cap on Baseball. Enjoy the ballgame.